Dogecoin has been on an absolute tear. Bitcoin has been on a tear. It's blown past a lot of the things that we've been talking about. So we're going to do basically a rechart here, and we're going to see what still stands, what doesn't, and get new projections here. And I'm going to normally I do it before the video, but I'm going to do it live right with you guys today so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on and where we're headed in the market. So let's take a look at the charts. So you should be able to take a look here at the overall charts, and we've had some explosive candles going here. We've actually blew through two Fibonacci levels this morning, all the way up to 12 cent. And obviously, we'll see where this candle ends up closing. I imagine this is going to be a battle all day. But the point is the capital and the momentum is there. Yesterday, we were talking about, I made a video and I was saying that, is they have the possibility, and I gave the range from 12 to 16 cent. We in fact hit 12 cent about 15 hours later, which is absolutely amazing. But the biggest thing is this current trend line that we're on is whether or not this trend line is going to be the foundation for this run or whether or not it's going to move up. And this is kind of what's going to take place over the next few days, is seeing where these candles close. This really just getting like the foundation and saying, okay, where's the current trend pattern so we can see the angle of aggression that we're going to be going through this ascension. Yes, we have resistance levels and stuff like that going forward, but we've hit it today. But the biggest thing is where these candles are going to close and whether or not we're going to maintain those levels. You guys know how I feel about gap ups. Gaps typically are filled, and the truth is, like I was saying, after about 12 cent, once we start maintaining those levels, we have gaps, serious gaps to like 16 and 20 cent. 25 cent. Those are all gap territories, and things, I'll say the candles in those levels, at least historically on the bull run perspective, are a lot more aggressive than the ones we've seen here. Those are some bigger daily candles that we're going to see in there. It is typically gap territory, so the price movement will be a lot more violent than what we've seen over the past year or so. So these candles that you're seeing today, just kind of go back, and for those of you who've been here a while, go back to like 2020, 2021, and you'll see the movement was much more violent on the day, and you'll have an idea. You'll see that, okay, well, what we're seeing today actually isn't those 2 cent, 3 cent jumps. That's actually isn't abnormal for this coin's movement in the bull run perspective. So I know some of you may have to reach back, but just kind of think about that and kind of get these smaller candles out of your mind when we are hitting those levels. So maintaining it is going to be the case here. Again, we'll see where this closes. Right now, it's positioned itself. Even if you go back to, let's make a good point here. We peaked at around 1233, headed toward 13 cents. So if we take a look here historically, we have this back in November of 2022. I believe this is the Elon purchase of Twitter. We ran out of steam at around 1584. Those were the gap territories. Obviously, shorts and people taking profit plays a part, but that's always going to be the case. We can't say that that's going to be the foundation for when a run is over. That's a trading, that's investing, that's going to happen in the coin no matter what price level that we're at. So that's something you can kind of expect. The previous dissension back here in April of 2022, we had some. This is obviously on a downtrend, but we had some retest here between 15 and 17. So I'm getting an idea of what I'm doing right now is getting an idea of where these previous points of resistance are, and it kind of gives us an idea of where we're going to see some stops, where we're going to see people taking profits, where we're going to see shorts coming in, and kind of getting an idea of based off of previous trends here to see what else is going to be some of the trouble areas going forward. But as you can see, this is what I meant earlier when I said that we're going to expect bigger candles. These candles here are much bigger than the ones that we've been seeing over the last year or so. And typically that's because more capital's in the market, the battle zones are bigger, there's more profit on the line, and you're going to see people and traders and investors fight for that profit no matter what side of the coin that you're on. So you can expect those bigger trend lines here going forward into the year. So this is around the 20 cents. So yeah, I say we're looking Yeah, because those gaps would put us, if we are maintaining these current levels here, that can put us on trajectory to head to around 20 cent if we're maintaining these levels here. Now, obviously, we have to um, maintain this, and I say get around 15, 15, 16 at those levels and maintain it. But again, like I said yesterday, Doge is unpredictable. You know, that rush of capital can come in and it can blow through. You can have a single candle that can disrupt that chart pattern here, and you know it could blow up and be at 18 cent tomorrow. So but as far as for stable and growing slowly, those are the numbers that we're looking at. The ranges are still going to be from like 12 to 16. That's going to be the next gap territory. And depending on how we handle that, again, where these candles close over the next 48 to 72 hours is going to be very important. But the cash is there, the spillover is there. You know, BTC is on a tear, and that's going to position us to have that run into the 20s. Let's take a look here at shorts, because I want to see how they're responding. Typically, shorts are up 46.86%. That's to be expected. Typically, when we have these big runs, shorts will kind of come in, but they're not going to get really aggressive until they see the momentum slow. Because a lot of times people like to give shorts more credit than they deserve. They'll say, "Oh, the shorts stopped the run," or "the shorts are hindering the run," and that's typically not the case. What happens is they wait until people are taking profits, people are waiting to see what happens. Momentum slows, and then they jump in front of that. What shorts typically don't want to do is battle you or jump in front of a freight train and try and slow down price. Typically, that's not what happens, unless it's someone with a lot of money and they aren't terrified of getting short squeezed. They typically wait until there's a break in the momentum, jump in there, then start attacking it and shorting it. And then, unfortunately, retail and panic can kind of help them get the desired results, because if they can typically cause like a fake out or panic, then they can typically get it trending in the direction that they want, which is down, which is triggering sell-offs, triggering acting like there's a strong resistance there, and really just momentum and capital is slowing down across the board. But people typically have tunnel vision for their asset, and they'll say, "Oh, this is the top of the run here. I better sell now." And then they're able to kind of capitalize off of that and take it down. So it's not so much them actually stopping the price, but it's very strategic entries on the actual price movement when it comes to shorts. So just a little bit of insight on how shorts work there. Let's take a look here at BTC. This is where a lot of the spillover is going to come from, especially in the top 10. And then we're going to take a look here at the moving averages for Doge. So right now we're at 60,000, over 60K. We are on track to break some all-time highs with Bitcoin, and maybe even have some adjustments here for inflation and break those all-time highs today as well. Bitcoin has been on an absolute tear as far as for money going into the market. Typically, that happens when we're looking at having happening, depending on how you want to say it. But typically, you have those coming in, that capital coming in and taking positions prior. Because after this happening, the Bitcoin is going to be more rare than gold. So you can count on investors kind of thinking that, and this run was to be expected to have liquidity come in and take positions before that happens. So I'm not surprised about this. Matter of fact, let me check shorts and see if I'll be surprised about this. Shorts are down. So shorts don't want none from BTC. Shorts are up 40% in Doge, and they're down roughly 39.62% in Bitcoin. So shorts are moving out of the way. This is what I meant. They do not want to jump in front of a freight train. They are moving out of the way for Bitcoin. So taking a look here, historically, this is one of the reasons why we're able to predict this movement is because we had the 14 crossing the 72 here. And that's a very strong indicator. And typically we go on, this is the last run here. The 14 crossing the 72, we went from, I think, what was it? 620 to 1075. about a 40% increase. And these candles are going to get bigger. So this is what I mean by before we, depending on where we are in the cycle as far as sort of how Bitcoin responds and breaking that all-time high, this run right here can propel us to 20 cent. So we can have that overshoot to 20 cent. Typically, if we're doing the math here, it would stay between like 16 and 12. But after what I've seen today and what we're seeing in Bitcoin, this is what I meant by the chart patterns can adjust, and you can have to kind of allocate for that overshooting. This run right here before you can see a decent sell-off can be a run to 20 cent. And this is what I mean. And it's not saying that we're not going to have a red day or a red candle, but we had a series of red candles in here, but the trend remained the same. We even had a period where we had a few days we reached down to grab some additional liquidity, then resumed the trend. And then there were periods in here where we had 6-7 days. It wasn't necessarily huge candles, but 6-7 consecutive days of increase in price. So this can very well see a similar chart pattern here, and that will certainly put us above the previous projections here in around like 20 cents. So that this is phenomenal. Doge, Bitcoin, I know the crypto market's on fire right now. So this capital, this allocation that's coming in is going to be absolutely amazing. We will be charting it, giving you no hype, no fluff projections, and so that you guys can make educated decisions on your part. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next update.